All right, so this looks pretty good. It looks like you're showing all the items in a room when the player enters that room. So the next thing was make the player responsible for keeping track of the room history. You should delegate backing up to previous rooms to the player the way you delegate going to a room or taking or dropping an item. So, so delegating, so in the book they talk about responsibility-driven programming. And you want to delegate responsibility to the class that ought to be responsible for it. So like when you go to another room, let's see, what do we do when we go to another room? When you go to another room, you're delegating some responsibility to the player here, right, for getting the next room and entering a room, right? You're putting that on the player to do because the player is the guy who keeps track of what room he's in. Okay, so it's a similar idea with room history stuff. So what we want is, rather than having the game keep track of that, and you had some good code actually in an earlier version. Again, this is stuff that is floating around out there. But I'm going to I think you told me it was clear to you how this was being used. So we'll just kind of the main thing I want you to get out of this is how you move this this field and the behaviors associated with it from the game class into the player class. Okay, so let's see how we do that. So yeah, so I'm not doing any changes to your current game class right now. I'm just gonna go into the player class, and I'm gonna I'll make sure we have to, if we're gonna use a stack, we have to make sure we import it, right? So we're gonna import stack, paste that in. I'm going to declare a stack, and let's see, I mentioned this before about, let's stick it right in our current room so we remember it has to do with that. Stack is a collection, so we, in more recent versions of Java, we use the generics. So we put in the what we're storing in the stack is a bunch of rooms, and again, you can use diamond notation here. And if you wanted to, you could stick this initialization in the constructor. All right, and then okay, so let's see, in your original game class, you call enter room on the player. I just want to make sure that you're still doing that over here. Yeah, so you're saying player enter room and passing the start room. Okay, good. So when we say enter room, that's a good time to be pushing stuff on the stack, right? Actually, do you do that here? Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, so what I would say is when you enter a room, I would say if you have a current room already, so if the current room is not null, right? Because at the very beginning of the game, the current room is null, right? We haven't initialized it to anything. So it's going to start off as null. But if it's not null, then that means we're already in a room and we're going to enter a new room. So if we're already in a room, then we should push that onto the stack, right? Room history push room, right? Okay. And then where do we do our pushing and popping over here? So when you do a go room, right? So here, let's see. What do we do for our can pick up on? Okay, so is that how you enter a room each time? Let's see. How do we do go room here? All right. Okay, right. So you call enter room each time. Okay, so if you're calling enter room, if that's how you go into a room, then that should be okay, right? So the next thing we want to do is, so I think we're okay as far as pushing, but we want to be able to pop. We want to be able to back up, right? So in order to be able to back up, we need to implement back, which means we need to go into command words. Okay, we have back here. That's good. And let's see. So in processing commands, are we doing something for that there? Nope. Okay, so we need a back method, right? So let's just actually let's look at. I bet you had it in here. Yeah, right here. So let's just copy that. Paste. All right, so we have a go back. So let's look at that. Go back, go back, go back. Where is that? Right here. Okay. Copy. So we're not going to implement it just like this, right? Because it's really the player that's going to be responsible ultimately. So we're going to delegate to the player. But let's paste here. I'm going to auto layout that. Yeah, okay. So now, so this business, right, needs to be implemented by should be implemented by the player. So let's try. Oh, and also, we should probably return something to see if we went back or not, right? Because what if we have this condition where you can't go back? So there's a couple of ways we could do this. I guess we could just return the previous room. Or wait, no, that doesn't make sense, because then basically we're going to be, because if the previous room is found, we're going to go there, right? Maybe it'd just be easier to just do a Boolean. So we want to return something to tell us if we backed up or not. So we could have our player method return true or false, right? So if back, and we'll pass it what? We'll pass it the second word, right? Command get second word. oh wait, no, there is no second word for back. Okay. Yeah, there is no second word for back, right? So we're going to just pass it the command word, right? How it goes? Let's see. So go. Yeah, wait. If command word. Yeah, get command word. That's the one we want. Wait, back. No, because it's just back. No, we don't need anything, right? Let's see. Yeah, because if we're going back, we're just popping. Okay, so we just need to call back with no parameters. So if if we went back if we didn't go back successfully, then we'll complain. Oh, I know. Wait, if we did go back, then we should like do a look maybe to say what room we're in, right? And then if we didn't go back, that's when we can complain and say you can't go back to nothing. Okay, so then our logic, so this is really right here, this is going to be the last line of our go back command. So the logic we're going to use in the player class is going to be if it's empty, we're going to return false, right? You couldn't go back. And then otherwise we're going to do this, right? Because we have an enter room method. So here's all our logic really for our back method in the player. So I'm going to cut it so I can save it, and then I'm going to paste it over in the player class. So compile. Yeah, we don't have a back method yet, so we have to make one here. And you didn't have a stub or anything for that, did you? Okay. So let's do insert method, and it's going to be a Boolean. So it's going to return true or false. Back. Let me just paste it before I lose that stuff. Paste. Okay. And if we don't return false, then we return true, right? Let's see, do we need to maintain? Oh, enter room is going to take care of what our current room is, right? Okay, so I think, do we have a room history thing here? Yeah. I think that might be it. Let's see. But I'm running kind of short on time, so I think I'll test it in the next video, and then we'll move on.